Hi, so it's pretty late right now. Um, I'm a little bit tired, but I just wanted to say one thing quickly. So about um half an hour ago maybe, um I um I was having a pretty bad anxiety, I would say. Circumstantial, very I guess I feel like all anxiety or most anxiety is very circumstantial. I'm sure there's some that maybe you're like, I have no idea why, but I feel like most of it is. But something happened um where maybe an hour ago actually, where like this guy I'm talking to was like not responding to me for like a while and whatever. Um and like my messages that I sent, and my anxiety like really grew. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes like it's really interesting with like my trauma and my anxiety where um like I don't know, it depends I guess, but like sometimes I'm like totally fine um for like hours or more with, if I'm dating somebody or talking to somebody, like I'm like just doing my stuff and I'm totally fine if they're doing their thing and not messaging or responding. But other times it's like if I let my thoughts become whatever or grow out or something, then um it can become like really bad and negative and so on. But I just wanted to say quickly, if I can, so the anxiety about an hour ago was really quite bad. Um, to the point, like in a sense, like I really felt like I couldn't do anything productive. Like my mind was just really negative, whatever. I wanted to work on my resume. I wanted to work on some stuff for myself, and because of like the negative thoughts and the anxiety and whatever, um, it was pretty much impossible. Like I could try to, like if I really had to, but it's like I wouldn't really be present. I wouldn't really be able to actually work on the resume. Like I wouldn't be able to think because my thoughts were somewhere else, like it was just I don't know, it was not great, okay. um and and then of course I took Tianeptine, um and right now I feel like I can totally work on the resume again. Like I want to work on the resume, you know? Like my thoughts feel like I feel at ease, whatever. Um I don't know, it's really really interesting, but I really feel like like I can totally focus on this again, whatever. And so like I have been taking a different kind of tianeptine. I talked about tablets before from India, and I haven't taken those in, I don't know, a couple of months, or at least like a month, probably around a month, maybe around a month, somewhere there. And the main reason is because of the fucking delivery. The shipping is a really really big issue right now, actually. And it's been an issue the whole time since I've been trying to use them. But basically, what happened is um, like I ordered like right after I got their previous shipment. I ordered like the next day another one because I knew it was gonna take a while to get this. And I don't know, like 3 weeks after I ordered, and I still didn't have it. Okay, 3 weeks after I ordered and I still didn't have it. I was like now contacting the shipping people, the pharmacy in India. I'm like, where the fuck is this? It's been like literally 3 weeks and I still don't have this. And now they're like checking and they're seeing and whatever, and they sent me the tracking code, and I'm like, oh, I guess it's in New York. It's like still in New York. It hasn't, it's still there, whatever, you know. And then like they checked something, but basically they told me to like contact USPS America, and they kind of basically I had to keep contacting them, and the package kept, you know, being stuck in New York, and then it traveled somewhere else. I went back to New York, so it literally took and then I contacted a bunch of different people. I contacted my local post office. So it was like a lot of effing energy and a lot of stuff I had to do. And literally took 2 months, maybe more. And now it arrived literally like a few days ago this week. And again, it's been like, I would say at least 2 months, but I'm like, I'm not gonna wait to find out. So I contacted people in India. I'm like, where's the like where is this, like what's going on, you know, why have I not received this still, you know? And they're like, we don't know, there's nothing, you know, like, and I'm like, well, can you guys send me another one, you know? And I really cannot pay you again for something I didn't receive in the first place. And then they basically telling me I had to pay again. They're telling me I had to pay again, that they can't send me anything. And I said, you know, like if I order something from Amazon and I didn't get it, they would not be like, oh, like you have to pay again for something I didn't even get, you know? So I think it was very, they managed it very poorly. I don't think I'm gonna go back to these guys again, because the whole shipping has been an issue the whole time. I think if I'm gonna order from India again, I'm gonna order from someone else, and they're not the only people by far. And I also tried to contact these same guys. I'm like, can you guys use another like shipping method? Is there like a faster way? Or and they weren't really discussing me that with me at all. They're like, this is what we use and whatever. So like very how should I say this, inflexible, very like, this is how we do it. They're not gonna, you know, I don't get the package, they're not gonna send me like anything else, another, like, you know, I have to pay again for something that I didn't even get in the first place, you know? It's just this whole problem with how long it is taking. It's not my fault. I'm not the one who's doing the shipping. They're the ones who are doing the shipping, and I have to do all the work. So if they're gonna watch this video, and I might send them a link so they can watch this, I hope a lot of people see this video that I'm doing right now, because a lot of people have seen the other videos I have done about Tianeptine. But I'm gonna say that I would not recommend these guys again, because of the shipping, because of the customer service, because of what they have done so far. I think that they did a very, very bad job with customer service. And again, I left their number somewhere. If you guys see that number, I would recommend you to not go there. If they have gotten any business from me, which I'm sure they have, but they're not really like, I did point that out this time, because before, like I sent them, I said, you know, guys, I'm giving you business, whatever. And they're like, yeah, maybe we'll give you some discount. They haven't tried to approach me or offer me anything at all as far as like me recommending them and whatever. And then when I wasn't receiving this package, when it seemed like the package was lost and it just kept traveling for 2 months, literally, I then I'm like, okay, so can you guys, you know, give me like another thing without payment, because I didn't get the thing. You know, I didn't get what I ordered for, what I paid for. I paid for everything. I gave all the money, and now I need to pay again for something I didn't even get, and all the time I have to wait to get it, you know? And I said, well, or at the very least, can you give me like some discount or something? And then I brought up, like I probably have given you guys some like business, because I do have quite a bit of viewership about Tianeptine, and people are commenting and whatever. And at that point, they're like, we'll maybe give you a 20% discount. But it was a lot of work. And so I think that their customer service was handled very badly. The whole thing with waiting, very, very badly. Whoever I tend to talk to on there on WhatsApp tends to get kind of mad at me if I'm mad. They kind of get upset with me, and they start to kind of be like sarcastic with me when I'm like complaining. And I understand that some of my complaining was probably quite a bit, because I'm like, I'm waiting for like weeks and weeks and I'm not getting this, and you guys aren't really doing a whole lot. Anyway, so that's my rant about that. But so this other Tianeptine that I have right now is from a website called Tianeptine Direct. That's a different website. That is not the guys from India. I got powder. I paid $800. But I got, I think, like 100 grams, which is a pretty big bag. And I will say that the effectiveness of that Tianeptine is way more potent, way stronger than the tablets from India. And it's really interesting. I also like, so I'm wondering if it's something with my brain as well. Like I feel like Tianeptine really works based on like someone's brain, composition, or like, how your brain has changed over time, other things that you have done. But like with Tianeptine Direct, with their, Tianeptine powder, um, I have used them before a couple years ago, the powder, and I pretty much always have a side effect, which is like just feeling sick and whatever, and then having pretty bad like restless leg for like a couple of days. And I don't know, it's really kind of crazy, but like I started using them like right after I got it. I started using it for a couple of days. Then I had like a headache because I used too much, I think. So I stopped using it for like a day and a half, maybe close to 2 days. And I had more or less no side effect. Like the whole restless leg thing. And I was really surprised. I was like, man, I need to do a video about this, because this is like an experiment. Like these are observations and experiments of like what's going on, and how kind of crazy this is. But and I do remember another video I watched of another guy who talked about Tianeptine and usage, and how he said that for him Tianeptine was more like a painkiller or something, which it never has been for me. And then another video said that Tianeptine made it hard for him to remember things or something. And again, that has never been a problem for me. So, brain is a very complicated thing. And I think for the most part, we, humanity, medicine, we as people, like we still do not understand a lot of things about mental health. Like I think, it's been, I don't know, a couple of centuries since, it's been a few centuries. I think it was like in 1800, not even actually. Like the whole, like, okay, so I did research on this, but like the whole, like, anxiety and depression, and it becoming like a big deal, only started to like really be documented in like the 1950s to 1960s. So it hasn't been a century yet. It's been, I don't know, which is really, really interesting to me. And, through my research, it really feels like it's coinciding a lot with like TV and loneliness, and like, us spending more time with computers and whatever, and spending more time in front of television. Like, it's just, there's a book called Place Well with Others, by Eric Barker, if anybody's interested. It talks really, really well about this stuff, about like the whole, mental problems, about like feeling lonely, depression, how like bad it is to have no friends and to like be lonely and whatever. Like it's really, really bad for your health, but this book talks a lot about this, so I don't know, it really seems to coincide. But yeah, where was I going with this? About Tianeptine. Oh, I'll just say a couple more things. So since starting to use this powder from Tianeptine Direct website, um, I have there's like, I've lost some weight, number one. Um, and it's really, really interesting to me because um, over the last, I don't know, some weeks, a few weeks, 2, 3 weeks now since I've been using the powder form, um, there has 100%, there's been a number of times where like I have gotten like this panic attack and extreme like anxiety or like extreme depression, whatever, where I knew like 100%, um, if I did not have tianeptine and this powder that I do from them, especially, I 100%, I would be eating unhealthy. I would be in the food, I would be eating some junk food, whatever. But because um, I have tianeptine, um, I'm not, you know? And it's really crazy because there these moments, like, even like earlier today, like this evening, I was having this crazy panic attack kind of thing. It really felt like I couldn't do anything. And now this, when I'm done with this video, I want to work on my resume, and I want to get some stuff done, but I don't know, it's just pretty incredible how it really, really changes my mood, it really changes how I feel. So like my apartment right now is really pretty clean, and it's really crazy that like before I got this powder form a few weeks ago, my apartment was not clean. Okay, it was really quite messy. My car was extremely messy. And even though I had the other version of tianeptine, the tablets, you know, um, I it was still difficult for me to clean, right? My apartment and my car were still like dirty and messy, you know? And I think that is very telling as well about the quality of tianeptine, and like right now I'm trying to get a job, I'm working on my resume, whatever. And before, like, I wasn't. It's only been like a week and a half that I've been like really trying to focus on getting a job, because mentally I feel like I can, especially if I continue getting this tianeptine, this powder, I definitely feel like it's gonna help me to keep the job and to, be able to do it, because it really helps me to get motivated. So I don't know, it's just really crazy. I do feel like a bit of like an experiment, or like even so, like even these pharmacy people in India, I asked them, I said, like, to your knowledge, is there different kinds of tianeptine? And I know that there's like like sulfate and sodium and stuff. That's not what I meant. I kind of like explained to him the whole, like, the withdrawals and the, like, the other kind from other places. And he was like, no, I don't know anything about that. I don't know that there's any kind of other. And from my personal experience, from what I have been experiencing, in these last weeks and months with like different kinds from like India and now from America, from this Tianeptine Direct website, um, it really feels like, even with tianeptine sodium, for example, which is all I got is tianeptine sodium, um, it really feels like there's different kinds of tianeptine within like those, tianeptine sodium stuff, depending on where you get it from. Sorry, my computer keeps sliding from my pillow. So that's kind of all I wanted to say, and give you guys more information of like what's been going on with me and my experiences. Um, I do think that if someone else, tries or is thinking about trying tianeptine, for example, or even if you guys are, I do feel like my videos that I have been making, that they are a really good resource, like if someone is trying to research, right? I think all the stuff that I'm talking about, it's like my life experience, and I have said before, I don't think that there's one medication out there in the world that fits everybody in the world in the same exact way. You know, I think that, certain medications can help majority of people or a great number of people in a certain way, but there's going to be people where they're affected differently by that same medication, so I'm not saying like, oh, tianeptine is gonna help everybody the same exact way that is helping me, but I am saying that this is how it has helped me. I am saying that this is how it has affected me, and I have been using it for many years now. Okay? So I think you can kind of, just by watching who I am as a person and how I talk, how I've been communicating, the things I have said, like I think like, and I'd say I use the Tianeptine regularly, right? It really helps me, and I have some extremely, extremely horrible trauma, that I will have to live with for the rest of my life. Okay? But I think at the end of the day, you kind of have to be like, well, this trauma, I have experienced it. This has happened to me. I have to live with it. But then I have to learn how to live with it. I have to learn how to live with this trauma. So if you're an adult, then I guess you have to make those choices, right? What do I need to do so that I'm happy? What do I need to do so that I feel good? Is it this? Is it this? Like, what is it? If you want to have a good life, a happy life, whatever. So maybe it's not tianeptine, maybe it is. But at least, if you've never tried tianeptine, that may be an option for you. And be like, wow, this is totally changing how I feel. I feel motivated. I feel like I can do stuff for like in a very long time, or for the first time in my life. I don't have depression anymore. I don't have anxiety. And for me, so like I had this other thought, and I'm not sure, but I know that for me, I tend to have like a million thoughts a second. Like my thoughts like are running constantly. Okay, like my thoughts are racing all the time. Excuse me. Jesus. And so like, I think there's couple of reasons for that, right? I think one reason, definitely like the trauma and all the bullshit and all the crazy stuff, right? But I think another one is, I do think I'm quite intelligent. I have read a lot. I understand a lot. I mean, if nothing else, just all the stuff that I've done, all the education that I've done to try to learn how to be happy, to work on my mental health. Like I've read, I don't know how many books and done a lot of things, um I have a master's and whatever, so like I was kind of wondering, if like those things, like my brain, again, I have so many thoughts and it's like running and racing and like just whatever. And I was kind of wondering, like in some way, like why is Tianeptine so effective for me, and I was kind of thinking, like why now, like with this Tianeptine especially, like I feel like I can clean. I can clean my apartment, I can clean my car, I can wash the dishes, I can do X, Y, and Z. And I was watching this one astrology guy talk about my sign. My zodiac is a Gemini, and he was saying something how, like, he was saying like Geminis are very smart, or like whatever, along those lines. And he said that one of the biggest problems is that a lot of times with smart people, that like they have so many thoughts that it can freeze you from action, right? Like it can freeze you from actually doing things because your brain is running and you're like, I need to do this or this and this. And it's like all of that brain thinking, all of that can freeze you from actually doing stuff, right? It's kind of like this idea I've heard about, like choices. Like if you are given 100 choices versus five, if you're given 100 choices, like you're given 100 brands of shampoo to choose from, for example, according to studies and whatever, you are much more likely to not make a decision at all, because it's like that variety of choices freezes you from actually making a decision, versus if you're given like five, then you're more likely to make a decision, because, well, the number of choices that you're given is less, so then it's easier for your brain. It's like I've also heard that making decisions and like thinking is like one of the hardest things to do. Like when something is a routine, like how do you get out of bed, when do you go to sleep, how do you dress, how do you whatever, it's like you don't think, you just always do the same thing all every day the same way, right? But when you have to like pause and you have to think, and like when I do my to-do list, I love to-do lists. When I do, like, I actually have to kind of take 10 to 20 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever, and just like sit there, or whatever, and just kind of think, and then I write it, and then it kind of gives clarity for like things I need to do. But I was kind of wondering a little bit, again, this is my thoughts, observations, if what Tianeptine does for me, it kind of in some way slows down my thoughts a little bit, it slows down all that crazy, like 100 things an hour of all these thoughts that I have, and then, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, and then, instead of maybe that, maybe it helps me to kind of be like one thing at a time and just focus on the most important and just do that. you know I'm wondering if that is part of kind of like what's going on, and why Tianeptine has been very, very effective for me. Because again, I think all of us have traumas, but it's different. Not we don't all have the same kinds of traumas. It doesn't all the whatever traumas we have does not affect us in the same way. None of our lives are the same exactly. We're all different, what we do and how we do, and none of our brains are the same. So I really would not expect for Tianeptine to affect people the same way. I even had like my best friend try Tianeptine, and she said it worked for her, but it was kind of just making her happy. It wasn't anything super like, oh wow, but again, her brain is different. Same thing, I had my mom try it like some years ago, and she had like no effect at all. you know so again, these are just my observations and me kind of trying to synthesize the research, and I am the ultimate kind of like test rabbit. I've been working out a bit, and again, I've been losing some weight, but whatever. My weight goes up and down. You know, in some videos I'm bigger, in others I'm skinnier. But again, I will tell you, in the last week since I've been using this powder Tianeptine, I have not binged or eaten unhealthy once, and I have been losing weight, and it's been 3 weeks now. I think it's really good for weight loss, if nothing else. Alright, guys, I had to go. I need to pee. Bye.